In a region often defined by rivalry and volatility, the Indus Waters Treaty has long been a rare pillar of stability. Brokered by the World Bank and signed in 1960 by India's Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Pakistan's President Ayub Khan, the treaty allocated the mighty Indus River system between the two neighbors, offering a delicate peace built not on politics, but on the lifeblood of nations, water. Yet that balance may now be tipping. Under the Indus Waters Treaty, India retained control over the eastern rivers, the Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej, while Pakistan secured the western rivers, the Indus, Chenab, and Jhelum. India was permitted non-consumptive use of the western rivers for hydroelectricity and limited irrigation, while Pakistan, downstream, grew to rely on them for survival, both agriculturally and geopolitically. For decades, the treaty withstood multiple wars, diplomatic rifts, and cross-border tensions. But on April 23, 2025, in the wake of the Pahalgam attack, India's Foreign Secretary announced something unprecedented: the suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty. This move marks the most serious threat to the treaty in its 65-year history. The numbers are staggering. The Indus River system carries an average 260 billion cubic meters annually. India, despite being the upper riparian state, uses just 15% of the total flow, primarily from its allocated eastern rivers. But in reality, an estimated 9.3 billion cubic meters of India's share still flows into Pakistan due to underutilization, particularly from the Ravi and Sutlej. This unclaimed resource is now being reclaimed. With three major projects, Shaparkandi Dam, Makaura Patan Barrage, and the Uj Dam, India is poised to tap its full entitlement, redirecting waters to Punjab and northern hill states. On March 1, 2025, India officially halted the flow of the Ravi into Pakistan, a symbolic and strategic act after nearly half a century of delay.
Though the treaty was never tied to national security, its implications are clear. As the upstream power, India has the infrastructure to influence river flows, a fact that stokes anxiety in downstream Pakistan. In times of conflict, fears of floods or droughts as weapons loom large. India's recent decision to renegotiate the treaty, citing Pakistan's repeated violations of its spirit, suggests the era of quiet hydrodiplomacy may be coming to an end. Water tensions don't stop at the Indus. Far to the east, the Brahmaputra River, originating in Tibet as the Yarlung Tsangpo, has become the next flashpoint. China, since annexing Tibet in 1951, has become the water lord of Asia, controlling headwaters that feed over 1 billion people. Beijing's dam-building spree, particularly the proposed giant dam in the Medog region, has India and Bangladesh on edge. India fears not just reduced water flow, but the weaponization of water, especially with limited access to China's hydrological data. In response, India is developing its own Siang River Dam in Arunachal Pradesh, ratcheting up a silent race of reservoir, building between nuclear neighbors. India's assertiveness over the Indus mirrors growing global anxieties. When Ethiopia dammed the Nile, it ignited a diplomatic firestorm with Egypt. Now, the idea of India roading Indus waters to arid regions like Rajasthan or even Karnataka seems less hypothetical and more a potential geopolitical game-changer. Critics warn such moves would draw global scrutiny. Supporters argue that China's Brahmaputra projects could escalate tensions anyway, and India's actions might just be leveling the field.
The once unshakable Indus Waters Treaty now teeters at a critical juncture. What was once seen as the gold standard of water-sharing agreements is now a chessboard of strategic calculations, national pride, and climate urgency. In the shadow of shifting riverbeds and rising political tides, the question now isn't just who owns the water, but who controls its future.
Let me know in the comments what you think. And while you're at it, hit like and subscribe. It really helps.